The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham became the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers. Judah became the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Perez became the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Amminadab. Amminadab became the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz became the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Obed became the father of Jesse, Jesse the father of David, the king. David became the father of Solomon, whose mother had been the wife of Uriah. Solomon became the father of Rehoboam, Rehoboam the father of Abijah, Abijah the father of Asaph. Asaph became the father of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat the father of Joram, Joram the father of Uzziah. Uzziah became the father of Jotham, Jotham the father of Ahaz, Ahaz the father of Hezekiah. Hezekiah became the father of Manasseh, Manasseh the father of Amos, Amos the father of Josiah. Josiah became the father of Jeconiah and his brothers at the time of the Babylonian exile. After the Babylonian exile, Jeconiah became the father of Shealtiel, Shealtiel the father of Zerubbabel, Zerubbabel the father of Abiud. Abiud became the father of Eliakim, Eliakim the father of Azor, Azor the father of Zadok. Zadok became the father of Achim, Achim the father of Eliud, Eliud the father of Eleazar. Eleazar became the father of Mathan, Mathan the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. Of her was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. Thus, the total number of generations from Abraham to David is 14 generations. From David to the Babylonian exile, 14 generations. From the Babylonian exile to the Christ, 14 generations. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a real mouthful, you know. That's a lot to say there. And there's also a lot that goes unsaid, and it kind of is left for our exploration and I say digging in, but it's like there, I say, signposts and symbols and things that are actually quite readily available, but require a little bit of a further look than simply reading the list. I mean, I think in recent years, especially, there's been this kind of extended look at the fact that, you know, Jesus's family, his ancestry, and the rest is dysfunctional. I think it was even Bishop Barron's email this morning was dysfunctional and ambiguous. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever that means. I don't know what it means to have an ambiguous ancestry. But maybe those of you who do more ancestry.com or whatever, actually, maybe that resonates with you. Yeah, I have an ambiguous ancestry as well. I have no idea what that means, but maybe that means something to you. And of course, there is that sense, right? Like there's like a growing sense of our belonging or our positioning in the world, who I am and the rest, through my ancestry. Like we have a kind of, there's a growing industry that is kind of built up around that. So, and we can acknowledge that too, but you know, in a traditional culture, in a more traditional culture like the one that we encounter here in the Gospels, all the more, right? It's much more important how, not only where you've come from and the rest, but how do you tell the story of your family, how you got here, and what does it mean? And here we have Matthew giving us an extraordinary, again, family history and ancestry of Jesus. It does have, you know, I mean, it's not polite really, but I don't know, I feel like kind of bad, but it's in here, you know, like we have prostitutes in here, do you know, like we have the offspring of prostitutes in Jesus's ancestry. Okay, like God didn't exempt himself from that. Right? God wasn't like, no, I got to get this like real clean cut, like every one after the other, just the most clean cut person you've ever seen, the most morally upstanding person you've ever encountered. That's not what God does. That's not his story. That's not Jesus' story. And even we could say that put it right at the beginning. I mean, think about David and Abraham. I mean, you can try to whitewash their stories. Of course, the stories are in the scriptures, so someone decided to not whitewash them, right? But the stories are all there. And you see, again, his offspring with, I should just look at the thing, but you guys know who was the wife of Uzziah? Yeah. Who was it? What's her name? Bathsheba, exactly. Yeah, Bathsheba. Right, he sees her bathing on the roof, right? And then he's got to have Uzziah killed as a result, right? So, I mean, that's him. I mean, but Abraham has his issues as well. Does he really? He's trusting. He is trusting God, but he's taking a concubine to fulfill God's promises. It's messy and it's muddled. But actually, when Matthew introduces the genealogy that way, he doesn't intend to say just that. Everybody knows that. But he also intends to say, Abraham is the father of many, right? And the promise to Abraham is that his progeny will be a blessing to the nations. Yeah, and this is right through Matthew's gospel account of Jesus. Right? It's clear that he is that. He is Abraham's son. And he is bringing God's promise to the entire world. And of course, David's kingship is to extend to every corner of creation. And this is Jesus. This is his line. Right? So those things are there too as preparation for this drum roll to introduce Jesus. And again, of course, there's more. And this is, of course, my favorite, the total number of generations, right? The 14 generations, 14 generations, 14 generations. And I say, in fact, well, 2 sets of 7, 2 sets of 7, 2 sets of 7, right? So we've got 6 sevens, and now Jesus at the head of the 7th 7. And we then are to be part of, with Jesus as our head, we're to be part of that 7th 7. Well, you figure it out. 7, all these sevens. That we're supposed to be part of that. We're supposed to be part of the completion of the family of God, the advancement of the family of God, and so take up our share in the mission that Jesus takes on and communicates to us by drawing us into communion with Him to take on his role of being a blessing for the nations, right? Of living under his rule and advancing his rule to every part of creation, right? To every corner of creation, to every corner, should I say, not only simply of the creation outside of us, but also every corner of my heart has to be subdued by the rule of God. And that's what Jesus accomplishes. That's what his birth among us accomplishes. And that's the story today that we're swept up into and called to advance with our every moment, with our every breath.